Hello and welcome to the Pinnacle Financial Scribbles series. I'm your journey's host and financial disruptor, Adrian Harasymiw, wealth builder at Pinnacle Financial. Get your notebooks out and ready for another scribble session, as my scribbles take aim at helping you better understand the basics of stocks. Just remember, this is a very general and basic overview, as it's not possible to go over each and every nuance without losing you to boredom or frustration. Besides, we're here to learn and become empowered with financial knowledge so we can build your family's wealth for a more unconstrained life, and not to fall asleep. Remember the equity section of the balance sheet? If not, be sure to check out that video after this one's done. But stock is also known as equity because it represents an ownership stake in a company. You may also know stocks by another name: shares. In other words, as a part owner of a company, you're a stockholder or shareholder. Both are one and the same. Stocks are issued by companies as a means of raising money for the corporation to infuse money into the operations of trying to generate a profit. Any profit earned can be shared with stockholders through dividends, although this is not necessarily a requirement. There are many companies presently not paying profits through dividends. Companies can issue stock whenever they choose, but it's important to remember that doing so dilutes or reduces the ownership stakes and rights of existing shareholders. So for example, let's say you own 100 shares of a company which has issued 1,000 shares. This means that you own 10% of that company. However, if the company issues another 1,000 shares for a total of 2,000 now, and you don't purchase any more of the new shares offered, your ownership stake is now diluted or reduced from 10% to 5%. In other words, you went from 100 over 1,000 shares to 100 over 2,000 shares. You've likely also been hearing much of the opposite happening these days, called share buybacks. Very generally, this is when a company buys up existing shares, thus reducing the number of stock available for purchase. So using our earlier example, if you own 100 shares of the company and the company has issued 1,000, this means that you own 10% of the company. But assume the company then buys back 500 of those existing shares, you now have a 20% ownership stake in the company, assuming you didn't sell any of your shares in the buyback process. So you went from 100 shares out of 1,000 outstanding, giving you a 10% stake, to 20% stake where you have 100 shares owned out of the 500 outstanding. There are two main types of stock. What you're most accustomed to is probably common stock, which entitles you as owner of the company to vote at shareholder meetings, as well as receive any declared dividend paid out by the company. The less usually known share is the preferred stock. These normally do not permit you to vote at meetings. However, holders of preferred stock are offset by this lack of or restricted voting power with other perks. For one, dividends cannot be declared and paid to common stockholders until such time that any existing preferred stockholders are paid their contractually specified dividend first. Also, in the event of a corporate dissolution, preferred stockholders have dibs on any remaining money after bondholders are paid out. This means they get their hands on any residual money before common shareholders, who cannot receive any residual corporate money until preferred shareholders have been made whole. Stock can be issued in a few different ways. The most common is through a stock exchange, which is a public place of issuing and trading stocks. When a company brings a stock offering to an exchange for the first time, it's called an initial public offering. Now, you've likely heard about this through its acronym, the IPO. For companies wishing not to issue stock through public means, another option is through private placements. However, such offerings are limited as participants only usually include ultra-wealthy investors, banks, and other institutional investors such as insurance companies and pension funds. So it's highly unlikely you will ever be involved directly in a private placement deal. It's good to know they exist though. But let's put a pause on further untangling of the stock web before things get too complicated. This should be enough to give you a foundational understanding so you can convey more confidence when discussing such financial matters. If at the beginning of these scribbles you realize you have no good notebook to use for your own financial note-taking needs, jump on over to www.mypinnaclelife.com, sign up for our free Pinnacle Chronicles email community, and I'll send you this sweet and free My Pinnacle Life notebook as a gesture of not only my gratitude, but also my eagerness to see you succeed. And now as you move your mouse to leave this video, please be sure to press the algorithm stimulating like thumbs up button first, and then don't forget to mash the subscribe button to help you find your way back to great Pinnacle Financial Scribbles of the future. And now it's time to get ready to get your skin in the wealth game and on your way to the pinnacle.